Yo, what's up, it's your boy Jabba Boy here, and today what I've got for you is a Formula E Moscow EPrix review for you guys. And yeah, let's get right down to this video. If you enjoyed this video, then hit the like button below, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, let's get right down to this video, like I said. So we'll start off with the aftermath of Berlin, and that was Lucas di Grassi getting disqualified due to a modified front wing which they discovered after the race in Parc Ferme. And yeah, as a result they disqualified him. Lucas di Grassi lost all those points and was dropped down to third place in the championship. Really, it was really sad for him. I felt really sorry for Lucas di Grassi because he did everything right. He drove a solid race, no mistakes whatsoever. And for him, his victory, his dominant victory, to be taken away like that was a massive shame for him. And yeah, I mean, he looked like he was absolutely kicking himself, to be honest with me, because, you know, who wouldn't? Because, you know, you did well, you dominated the race, you're in the lead of the championship, then it gets taken away from you, then you're third in the championship. I mean, it's so heartbreaking, it's so frustrating, but I think Lucas will bounce back from this. Hopefully he will, to be honest, because, you know, he can't afford any more of this, to be honest, especially as we're getting into the closing stages of this championship. So yeah, he's gotta focus up, he's gotta move forward, and hopefully that mentality will give him the edge going into the final 3 races. So yeah. So moving on into the weekend. The weekend started with Sam Bird having a torrid weekend. He lost to Will in practice. He qualified 12th in qualifying, and then he retired from the race later on. Not quite sure, to be honest, but it must have been due to reliability failure or something like that. So unfortunate for him. Really his championship chances are over, to be honest, because he's had so much bad luck, to be honest. I mean, he hasn't been right up there, he hasn't been right up in the front end since Monaco. So yeah, and he scored a 4th in that run. So yeah, I mean, absolutely, I feel sorry for him, to be honest, because we all thought he could be in tension for the championship, and for him to not be is kind of a blow, to be honest. And hopefully he can bounce back and maybe see if he can get a couple of wins, maybe see if he can get a win or so in London in a few weeks. So yeah. But moving to the front, we saw a good qualifying battle going on between the 3 title contenders. The winner from the 3 was the championship leader Nelson Piquet Jr., who went fastest. Then behind was Lucas di Grassi, and then behind him was Sebastian Buemi in 3rd place there. But someone who decided to gay crash their party was Jean Verne, who went fastest by a couple of tenths. And yeah, as a result, went fastest, a beautiful lap, hooked it up throughout the lap, completely nailed it, and as a result took his 3rd pole position of the season. He really loves getting pole position this season, to be honest, not so in terms of race wins, but in terms of poles, he loves doing that. So yeah, and yeah, he got the reward that he deserved, which was pole position. So yeah, moving on into the race. He sadly got a bad start, and as a result that allowed Nelson Piquet Jr. to take the lead of the race going into turn 1. In the first lap there was no real context, no dramas, it was all nice and clean, which was fantastic to see. But then later on we saw an incident between Trilli and Da Costa. Da Costa had a run going into the chicane. He was on the inside, Trilli was on the outside. Trilli decided to back out of the move and cut the chicane and passed Da Costa. Now, he did this a couple of times, and basically, what do I think of this? I think Trilli should have just basically backed off, turned into the corner, allowed Da Costa through as well, and yeah, everything would have been fine. But I think because of that, he is in jeopardy of getting a penalty. To be honest, not quite sure what it will be, but yeah. Just I think, but and as well, he did get investigated by the stewards. The incident was investigated by the stewards, which was going to be after the race. So yeah, I'm not quite sure whether this is going to be a penalty. I'm not quite sure whether this is going to be a penalty or not. I think it should be, to be honest, because he had the option of just backing out of the move, allowing Da Costa through, and taking the corner normally. So yeah, not quite sure whether he just missed his braking or whatnot, but yeah, it looked like he could have easily done that, to be honest. So yeah, but he didn't. He went straight for the chicane and kept the position ahead of Da Costa, which I think is a well, it's a little bit hard to say because they were both side by side. So yeah, I think I could say that was an illegal overtake, to be honest. Yeah. So looks like he's going to be in even more big trouble and could get a penalty for the next round in London. So yeah. But then moving on into the pit stops, we saw Lucas Grossi make a brilliant pit stop. So much so that he even got ahead of Jorick Verne to take second place, and as a result freed him to be on the charge, which freed him up to be on the charge of Nelson Piquet Jr., who was about 5 seconds up the road. So yeah, and he also had about 15 laps to go in the race, and he had more battery life than Nelson Piquet Jr. So yeah, really the chase was on, and as a result all of that made Lucas di Grassi's efforts in trying to get hunt down Nelson Piquet Jr. was a lot more easier than it could have been had they been on the same range. So yeah. But then as well, we saw a spin going on. That was Stefan Saracen. He spun going into the hairpin, and yeah, almost collected Jaime Alguersuari. Jaime was able to get out of there unscathed, but Saracen lost a lot of time and was pretty much out of the running. So yeah. Another man who was out of the running was Senna. I think he was out of the race actually. So yeah. Senna in the Mahindra spun out, hit the wall, lost his rear wing, and I think that was pretty much the end of his race. So yeah, unfortunate for him. Later on, we saw a move going on for Antonio Felix Costa, who he finally got by Jarno Trulli to take 11th, I believe. A good clean pass down the inside, got a good run coming out of turn 1, and as a result made a brilliant move, clean pass coming out of turn 2 to take 11th. So yeah, good move by him there. As well, we saw some contact going on, and that was between Duval, Wilson and Trulli. Yeah, Trulli was losing a lot of time, and as a result was in the clutches of Justin Wilson. And by the way, Trulli did the exact same thing on Wilson as well, so yeah, I think a penalty will be coming his way, to be honest. I'll be massively surprised if they don't give him a penalty, to be honest, because yeah, blatant corner cut and blatant legal overtake, so yeah. And yeah, so back to the incident, we saw Lucas di Grassi riding over Jarno Trulli's rear wing, and as a result Trulli was out of the race. Then later on we saw, but then as well we saw Wilson getting the brunt of it and losing a lot of time. He lost the most amount of time, surprisingly, and yeah, and but for Loic, I'm not quite sure whether he got a penalty or not. I think he may do, to be honest, because that was a blatant contact, unavoidable contact, to be honest. He could have easily gone around the outside and whatnot. I mean, avoidable. I mean, he could have easily gone around the outside and whatnot and could have lived to fight another day, but he didn't, and as a result, it cost him and Trulli's race. So yeah, I think a penalty may come his way, to be honest. I'll be massively surprised if he does not get a penalty, but we're going to have to wait and see on that one. So yeah. But at the front we saw Lucas di Grassi really closing in on Nelson Piquet Jr. He was closing in 10th by 10th, lap by lap, and but in the end wasn't enough to overtake or even be in position to overtake Nelson Piquet Jr., who crossed the line in first place. A very good victory by him, a dominant win by Nelson Piquet Jr., made no mistakes whatsoever, and as a result got his reward, which was a win at Moscow. Second was Lucas di Grassi, a good result by him. A nice good bounce back from Berlin, and surely that's going to put him in massive contentions going into the final round, so yeah. And third was Buemi, due to an incident on the final lap of the race. Basically, Buemi was on the outside, Verne was on the inside. They both make contact. Buemi goes straight on. He tries to let Jean-Eric Verne by, but Jean-Eric Verne does not go by Buemi, so Buemi keeps the position. Then we see Nick Heidfeld going down the inside, going into the hairpin. A nice clean pass, and as a result, Nick Heidfeld moved himself up into 4th place. And then Buemi comes through to take 5th place. What do I think of it? I don't think Buemi will get a penalty because I think he was trying to let him through, but Jean-Eric Verne didn't. And I was a little bit surprised that Jean-Eric Verne didn't just easily go by him, because he saw Buemi cut the corner, he saw him get ahead, and he saw him slow down, so surely he should have knew that he was letting him go by, but he did not get the message, and as a result tucked behind Buemi, who then soon after he got overtaken by Heidfeld going into the hairpin. So I don't think Buemi will get a penalty, to be honest, because he was trying so hard. I mean, in hindsight as well, I think he could have slowed a little bit down, but the speed that he was going was appropriate enough I think the speed that he was going to let him back by was appropriate enough to not get a penalty. So yeah, I don't think he'll get a penalty, to be honest, due to what he was trying to do there. So yeah, but a beautiful race whatsoever. A good race, won by a good driver, who is Nelson Piquet Jr. He is now 12 points going into the final 2 races, the double header in Battersea Park. I think Nelson Piquet could win the title, to be honest. I think I'm going to put my money on Nelson Piquet Jr. for the title, to be honest, because he's been so consistent this season. He's delivered, he's produced a lot of dominant victories. He's capitalised on people's errors. So yeah, I think he could be the man for the title, to be honest. I think I'm going to go with Nelson Piquet Jr. in terms of the World Championship, to be honest. So yeah. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then hit the like button below, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Your boy, I am out. Peace.